Everybody you know in your entire life is addicted to something. Now, I'm going to clarify before I start yapping about this. I got this idea from a TikTok. I don't know the name, but if I find it, I'm going to link it on the screen and put it in the description. So, trust. Anyway, everybody you know is addicted to something. Now, it could be anything, and it's often very subtle. Sometimes it's obvious. Sometimes you know that this guy's addicted, or they know. Drinking, drugs, gambling, things like that. But sometimes it's actually really subtle things, like some people get addicted to plastic surgery. Obviously, you gotta be rich. But think about Michael Jackson. Aside from the fact that he had vitiligo, I think, vitiligo, whatever, the skin getting whiter disease. He did so much work on his face. When he looked in the mirror, he didn't see himself, so he got addicted to fixing himself. So his cheeks went, and his nose went, and he was like, oh my God, that's not Michael Jackson. Who is that? Or these sometimes it's think about women or news anchors who think they have to fix themselves to look pretty on the news. And you're like, oh no, you look scary now. I feel so bad because they look like, but that's an addiction. By definition, that's an addiction. Or some people get addicted to exercise. Think about this. If you look in the mirror and you're like, oh, you get all in your head about how you look and you go to the gym or whatever, you are addicted to exercise if you can't get a result. You're just going. You're going to get a result that you're never going to get because it's always going to be harder to reach. It's never enough. Think about when you're drinking or you're doing drugs. It's a dopamine hit. And it always is never enough. There's always more you can get. That's how addiction works. And it's the same concept. Everybody in your whole life has at least one. And there's one really broad addiction that I think is really obvious and that people don't really think about as an addiction, but I guarantee you it is. It is, I was about to pull it out, but I'm recording with it. It's the phone. Your phone is an addiction. 95% of people are addicted to their phones. And I'll tell you, it's in the little moments you're not catching. You're sitting there, you do homework for an hour, and then a half an hour later, you're gonna record a video like I'm doing right now. But what did I do in that 15, 20 minutes that I scrolled TikTok or Instagram or whatever. And what is that gonna get me? I laughed a couple times, I smiled a little bit during the day, but it's really not doing much for me. And this is the part that I want you to remember. It's very intentional. It is an intentional choice. And also I understand the irony of me posting this to social media after telling you phones are addiction. But listen, it's a choice. Imagine somebody, imagine Mark Zuckerberg himself was like, oh, are you fucking kidding? Oh, we're still going. The thing popped on my screen. Imagine Mark Zuckerberg intentionally by choice was like, yeah, you're gonna scroll TikTok, aren't you? Yeah, you're gonna scroll. I'm gonna get you to waste your time today. It's manipulative, and it would be like, what the fuck, bro? Yo, what the fuck, Zuck? What are you doing, bro? I'm not trying to hear any of that. But think about it like this: when it's Instagram, a faceless brand, it's a company. You don't think about it. You're like, whatever. It's my fault. The person in the situation has to take charge of the problem, but the problem isn't you. I mean, it is you, but it's not just you. It's gross, sorry. You're being manipulated, is what I'm saying. But anyway, that's an addiction too, and everybody's addicted to it. I actually was able to get off of that, but I'll talk about that later. I think that keeps people addicted isn't actually the addiction at all. It's the shame of it. And that's one of the worst things about it, is that's the reason that you don't know when people are addicted, but everybody is. But nobody's willing to talk about it. Phones, it's actually pretty common to be like, yeah, I'm addicted. Well, not true, actually. Contradicting myself. Lock in. What was I just saying? Damn it. Oh, right. If you went up to your buddy, anybody, and you were like, yo, you're definitely addicted to the phone. He'd be like, no, I'm not. Or he'd be like, so are you. You know what I mean? He'd be like, people get very defensive. And it's like, well, what? Why? I don't understand. Nobody wants to admit that they're addicted to something, but addiction's not anybody's fault. Addiction is like a disease. It's something that happens to you. You didn't choose addiction, but you feel shame as if you chose it and you have sinned or are a worse person because of it. That doesn't make any sense. That's stupid. That's stupid. That's stupid that you think that. But everybody thinks it, and there's people who want you to think that. And I'm not going to get into like, oh, they're going to get us, the Illuminati. That's not what I mean. What I do mean is that people act like it's like a choice, and it makes them feel worse about themselves. That's wrong. Anyway, it's not the end of the world, though. I don't think people should be like, oh my gosh, no, I'm addicted, never can get better. You can get better, and you will if you try eventually. And I know easier said than done. I'm talking about